Mr. J. Today we're talking about migrant workers here in South Korea. Sorry, let me exit out of this thing here. Good. Alright, migrant workers here in South Korea. This is bad news, or maybe, debatable news. I don't know. I think it's bad. Anyways, this is our basic video for September 17th, 2025, Wednesday. And like I said, South Korea. Oh, sorry, I'm popping in and out of there. South Korea. Let's look at our words first. Abuse, 2 syllables. Wages, 2. Complaint, 2. Deportation, 4 syllables. Transfers, 2. Consent, 2. Outrage, 2. Reforms, 2 syllables. Human rights, 3. Exploitation, 4 syllables. Important words. You better know these. Okay, here we go. Bishal B.K, a 28-year-old Nepali, arrived in Korea last October to earn money and support his family. But his experience quickly turned into a nightmare. Assigned to a metal company under Korea's Employment Permit System, EPS, Bishal faced abuse, including beatings, and withheld wages after asking to transfer to another job. When he confronted his boss, the employer filed a false complaint against him, leaving Bishal unpaid and under threat of deportation. The EPS, created to fill labor shortages, heavily limits job transfers requiring employment consent except in proven abuse cases. This has left many migrant workers vulnerable to exploitation. Even when abuse is reported, investigations take months, leaving workers without income. Recent cases have sparked nationwide outrage, including a viral video showing a Sri Lankan worker lifted by a forklift as punishment. Advocates like attorney Kim Chuno and union leader Udaya Ray, hopefully my pronunciation's correct, sorry, are calling for reforms to protect human rights. While the government promises stricter rules against violence, officials plan to keep the employer approval rule, citing concerns over labor shortages in rural industries. For workers like Bishal and others from Nepal, Vietnam, and Bangladesh, the system remains a painful trap between survival and injustice. I hope this changes. I hope everyone gets what they need and they're taken care of. Alright. What system governs migrant workers like Bishal in South Korea, the EPS, or Global Visa Program? What is required for a migrant worker to transfer jobs under EPS rules, employer consent, or a payment of a fee to the government? Why did Bishal stop receiving wages? His boss retaliated after he asked to transfer jobs, or he quit voluntarily without notice. What event caused nationwide outrage in July? A Sri Lankan worker was lifted by a forklift as punishment, or a factory fire injured dozens of workers? Why do officials want to keep the employer approval rule in place? To prevent workers from leaving hard-to-fill jobs in rural areas, or to protect the safety of foreign workers? No, not that one. Okay. Today's legal word draft, right? It looks like they're looking at a draft together. And here's a totally different draft, like the draft that all able-bodied Korean men have to do. Okay, so let's see. Legal meaning draft. A preliminary version of a legal document or contract before it is finalized. Right? Non-legal. A system where people are selected by the government to join the military. Okay, spelling D-R-A-F-T. Draft. Okay. The lawyer prepared a draft of the contract for review. All young men were required to register for the military draft. Alright, let's see. Weather for tomorrow: Jakarta, Indonesia, a high of 32, a low of 25, and partly rainy. Mexico City, Mexico, a high of 23, a low of 14, and let's see, it says there will be afternoon shower. Let's just say partly rainy. Okay, and Ottawa, Canada, high of 20, a low of 10, and it will be mostly sunny. Alright guys, that's it for today. I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.